So, have you ever actually stopped to wonder how an AI checks a database? I mean, you ask it a really complex question, and somehow it just reaches out into the real world, grabs live data, and gives you an answer. And it does this without a developer having to custom code every single integration step. It honestly feels like magic, but it's actually just a brilliant piece of architecture. Figuring out how an AI assistant pulls that off is a question that gets right to the heart of modern AI development.
Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into the fascinating world of the Model Context Protocol and exploring exactly how it acts as the ultimate bridge for AI agents to connect with external tools.
Here is our roadmap for today. We are going to cover the AI connectivity problem, enter the Model Context Protocol, look at the universal USB for AI, see exactly how MCP connects tools, and wrap up with the plug-and-play ecosystem.
All right, part one, the AI connectivity problem beyond the internal knowledge base.
Okay, let's start with a massive missing piece in AI development right now, which is connecting an internal AI assistant to external systems. Picture a company. Let's call them Tech Corp. They have an AI assistant that works perfectly for searching their own internal knowledge base. But suddenly, the team needs that AI to access outside systems, things like customer databases, support tickets, or inventory software. If you've ever built software, you know for a fact that writing custom API integrations for all those different endpoints is a nightmare. It takes a huge amount of time, a ton of effort, and frankly, a lot of frustration. Traditional APIs are incredibly rigid. They tie you directly to specific endpoints, meaning the developer has to do all the heavy lifting to translate the data for the AI. But MCP? It flips the script entirely. Instead of the developer sweating over the integration, it empowers the autonomous AI agent to do the heavy lifting itself. Which brings us to part two. Enter Model Context Protocol, the missing link. This whole shift is thanks to a revolutionary framework that's been gaining major traction since Anthropic released it back in late 2022. It's called MCP, or the Model Context Protocol. It functions a bit like a traditional API, but with a few absolutely crucial differences that make it perfect for AI agents. The big one is that MCP doesn't just statically expose tools, it provides self-describing interfaces. Think of it like, well, imagine a new employee showing up on their very first day, and they just hand you a perfectly written, incredibly detailed manual on exactly how to manage them. You don't have to figure it out through trial and error, right? The interface describes itself. This means the AI can intuitively understand and use these external tools completely autonomously. You hand it the tool, and the AI just knows how and when to use it. It's a massive time saver. Let's make this concrete and jump back to our TechCorp scenario. Say an employee asks the AI, "What's the status of order 1234?" In the past, that query would hit a brick wall, or it would require a highly complex custom-coded pipeline that took weeks to build. But now, the AI just uses a customer database MCP server to directly query the order management system. It grabs the current status and instantly gives you a complete, accurate response. The shift here is a total game changer. It can do this for support tickets, inventory management, literally you name it. Moving right along to part three, the universal USB for AI, standardizing connections. To really grasp how elegant this solution is, we need to look at an analogy that makes perfect sense of the tech. Because how do you standardize all these wild, varied connections so they just work? When I first heard this comparison, it genuinely blew my mind because it is so spot on. MCP is a universal port, just like a USB. I mean, think about it. You don't write custom code every time you plug a new mouse or a keyboard or a webcam into your laptop, right? The USB protocol handles all the translation for you. MCP is doing the exact same thing, but for AI agents and data sources. Let's break that down a bit further. The MCP protocol itself, that's the universal port. The specific MCP server you connect is the USB device. The tools exposed by that server are the device's functions. And finally, your AI framework, whether you're using LangGraph, AutoGen, whatever, acts as the computer utilizing them all. That orchestration layer is what gives the AI its brain, allowing it to seamlessly execute the tool's functions over the standardized port. It's just a completely elegant, standardized way to plug and play with external data. Okay, part four, how MCP connects tools, the architecture flow. So how does the data actually move from a database into the AI's brain under the hood? It breaks down into three pretty straightforward steps. First, the MCP server exposes the tools and their schemas. It's basically announcing, hey, here's what I can do. Second, an AI workflow framework, like LangGraph, integrates with those tools. And third, the AI agent takes over and intelligently routes the user's query to that specific tool.
And the reason this routing is so intelligent is that the AI actually understands the semantic context of your prompt. It's not just blindly firing off API calls. It reasons about what you're asking, checks the schemas of the available tools, and then makes a calculated decision on which tool to use and exactly what parameters to pass it. And for developers, setting this up is crazy simple. You can create an instance using something like FastMCP and name it customer_DB. Then, just by adding a simple decorator in your Python code, like @mcp.tool, you expose that function to the AI clients. You define the parameters and return types so the AI knows what inputs to give and what output to expect. And what's really cool is that behind the scenes, that function can connect to a fake in-memory database for testing, so you can safely test your AI's reasoning and routing logic locally in a sandbox before you ever let it touch your live, mission-critical SQL database. It's a massive win for safe development, and then you just scale it up to a live SQL or MongoDB environment when you're ready. And finally, part 5, the plug-and-play ecosystem. Write once, use anywhere. Now you might be thinking, okay, this is great, but do I still have to write all this database server code myself? Actually, no way. That leads us to arguably the most mind-blowing part of the Model Context Protocol. An entire open source community is already building these plug-and-play servers. For solo developers or small teams, this is an absolute game changer. You can instantly connect your agent to systems like GitHub or GitLabs for code, SQL databases for data querying, or even weather APIs for live forecasts. You just drop them into your agent without writing the core integration code. The community writes it once, and everybody benefits. And when you start stacking multiple servers together, the agent becomes incredibly powerful. You can retrieve tools from a bunch of different sources and create one unified agent that has access to the whole shebang. This is the true power of MCP, multiple servers working together under one roof. The system intelligently routes the queries on the fly. If someone asks a math question, it dynamically hits the calculator tool. Ask about the weather, it seamlessly routes to the weather tool, all entirely autonomously. Which leaves us with a final provocative thought. We've moved way past static documents. We have totally bypassed the absolute nightmare of rigid, custom-coded APIs. So now that the barrier to external systems is completely gone, and your AI can seamlessly, autonomously interact with the real world using the universal USB of the AI space, what are you going to build next?